Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to yet another episode of Let's Jaliawala. My today's guest is somebody very special, and when you'll listen to her, when you'll find out more about her, I hope you would agree with that. She spent considerable time living in Pakistan. She's half Pakistani, and what she does here is also beautiful. She's quite an activist. Let me read her profile to you. She's the owner of Wild Thyme Hunza Cuisine and Marketplace in Islamabad. She's been living for 19 years here. She's very sensitive about the Hunza community and is concerned about how CPAC is impacting the people of Hunza and their longevity. She's big on traveling, trekking. Her first exposure to northern areas of Pakistan was on a cycling trip with a group of 8 other expats in 2001 when she cycled from Gilgit to Kunjrab Pass and back to Gilgit in 8 days. Her restaurant's food is amazing. I can validate that. It is really amazing and is thoroughly loved and enjoyed by locals and foreigners alike. Thank you, Elizabeth, for joining us.
Thank you.
Tell us a little about yourself. So, what does it mean? Half Pakistani, 19 years here. Where does it come from?
Well, I am a product of also mixed parentage. My mother is living. She's Scottish French heritage, American, and my father was Pakistani American, and they met in New York on an elevator. My mother worked for Ford. She was with the Ford modeling agency, and my father was in advertising. He used to work also for the Pakistan Tobacco Company, British American Tobacco.
Wonderful.
In advertising.
From Bay Area to Hunza,
Yeah.
there is a world of a difference.
There is. I mean, San Francisco is incredibly beautiful. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to go there. And there's an earthiness about San Francisco as well, in California, and also the appreciation and the desire to protect the environment. Because if we don't, and it's not just our government's responsibilities, it's every single human being on this planet. We are all citizens of this planet, and it is every one of our responsibilities and to lessen our footprints and try to protect it and respect it. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know. I've seen a lot of, we all have the changing climate and the weather, extreme weather patterns and the heat, the cold, everything, how it's changed in my lifetime. And we now have a lot of research that is backing up, the scientific data on how climate is affecting our planet. And I don't know. I feel very, it's something that comes from within. I feel very aware of it and very passionate about it. I'm a tree hugger.
Yeah.
When I'm on trails, I literally, I will touch a tree as I'm passing it. And it's just the energy from it.
What is it like? Some people are so attached, even if it's a tree. And for some it's...
I don't know how not to be. So I don't know what it's like not to be. 6 years, I think, I spent in volunteerism in rural development with schools, building schools in health-related, water and sanitation. And the last 3 years, for example, in Hunza, the influx of domestic tourism, it's unprecedented. It's in millions, right? And when you go from a place that isn't really that discovered, more from the mountaineers, trekkers, the expat, kind of the foreign tourist, and then you go to this huge, it's almost, I don't know, it's like this wall of tourism that comes. They don't have the facilities to absorb that. And so you see this haphazard construction, right? And what happens when you have haphazard construction is it affects the aesthetic beauty of the place as well. the environment, the impact of it, the sewage, the water, everything that is involved, electricity that goes into a living, breathing building to be able to house and support visitors. On top of that, one thing that people don't realize with tourism, you risk, if it's not done responsibly, which is one of the mandates, I understand, of this current government, responsibly, you end up affecting diets of people as well, right? It's very sensitive. So
Help me understand, how are you affecting the diets of the people?
so the Hunza cook, a friend of mine who's a published writer, she's a nutritionist, she's British. She's actually, we're working on a side project. We're going to publish a recipe book for Wild Thyme, which will have the old traditional, old recipes with our current fusion, our contemporary version. And she's one of our collaborators. And she did a study and traveled around the world and studied the longevity, the 5 player. And he was in his 30s. And one of the evenings I was there, the house we were staying in, one of their extended family members was this musician. And it's not uncommon anymore. So those people living into their hundreds now, you know, the youth who have had now this change in diet as well, and obviously lifestyle. A lot of them are going down country to get educated and are educated, have office jobs and, you know, government
fall
jobs.
For the same trap and the race. Yeah. But I hear you also put out a petition for the same.
I did. Yeah. I wrote. Worked with a lawyer in Lahore who did it pro bono. He was also very passionate about Hunza. When I reached out to him, he's very excited. Yeah. So he helped me develop the work plan that we have, the Hunza model. And then I went and met with, at the time, the chairman for the standing committee on this organization under CPAC. And CPAC's great. It's a great opportunity for this country. I hope it does help the economy and the masses and not just the few. But the footprint of that, the increase of traffic, the carbon, you know, all of that, the bees are so sensitive and delicate. And I know you've probably heard and seen a lot on the internet over the years about how the bees were killing the bees. And if we do affect that bee population, which is so delicate and is part of the diet of the Hunza people, the honey, right? It's awesome. The honey is beautiful. It's gold. It's liquid gold. It really is. And for our health, and everything the bee does is very important for the balancing our health. And so I did go and meet with one of the ministers, and nothing, unfortunately, transpired from it. One of the key things I think that can be done on the ground that will have a big impact on protecting Karimabad, for example, which is the destination when you go to Hunza, is making it pedestrian only. Now, pedestrian only would mean putting up barriers off the main road that goes through Karimabad. All the jeeps, the buses, the tours, the non-local residents could develop these parking spaces down in the riverbed in Ganesh, and tents for the drivers, you know, like a tent city. Instead of, they don't need to use cement. We don't have to construct buildings all the time. Like nomads, they can have tents, a whole city set up to support the drivers and the tour operators and guides, and then have these solar or environmentally friendly vehicles shuttle the guests to the hotels, drop them off, and then you walk in the area. You know, it's amazing. It's beautiful. And right now, the traffic is such, walking in the bazaar area, just enjoying, you know, a cup of coffee from Cafe de Hunza, which is one of my favorite places to go. and browsing the shops, going to the forts. You cannot do that without maybe getting hit by a car, the sound and pollution from the motorcycles. When I go up north, I feel like I've kind of come to another area. It's not the typical Pakistan that I feel. I haven't explored a lot of the South. I've been to Lahore, I've been to Karachi.
What is this difference that you were talking about? That it's...
Well, there's, you can walk around and not feel that, number one, you're a woman who has to have any particular, dress code, for example, or like you don't have to cover your head. It's very moderate. You see women on the street. They're actually, every day they're walking, you'll pass by, you can say hello, they say hello.
That's what I wanted to come to, that, in this journey, and you said that you were making your own path, and the Wild Thyme restaurant.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about it, and we'd be flashing pictures as you talk about this, but give us an introduction on this restaurant. It's amazing what I've had there, the cuisine, how it's done. So please tell us a little about it in your own words.
That means so much to me. First of all, Wild Thyme is not a restaurant for me. It is, it's so personal to me. The energy and the way the interior has been done, it's very personal. I want people, when they come there, to feel like they've come to a place to relax and come home, and not, something pretentious. I want it to be like home, and it's home cooking, it's comfort food, it's high energy, it's nutritious. I call it the healthy Pakistani food. And what I love is when I get, our Pakistani guests that come in, our locals here, that they are confused because they don't know what it is that they see. What is it? And I tell them this is very much Pakistan. This is Pakistani food, and what I'm proud about is showing the diversity of this country, and this whole preservation part and protecting the environment and cultures. That's why it's so important, the diversity. If we come, one thing that upset me so much that I've seen in Hunza is there was a Punjabi restaurant, right? There's Nahari, there's Karai, there's those kind of, it's like, it's amazing food, but it doesn't belong in Hunza. When you've taken such an effort and expense and traveled and brought your family and with your groups of friends in the universities and gone on this journey to go to this amazing place that doesn't exist anywhere on this planet. And why would you want to come there and demand food that is not from there? I would want to come and explore the place, really, what is this about? Wow, this is Pakistan. I'm so proud of it. And, and want to protect it. Because, look at the Kalash. Over time, they've kind of, they're being kind of diluted a little bit, right? And look at that diversity. It's amazing. They're still, I don't know if they still are 100% sure how those people came about and how they came there and their culture. And we cannot lose that, we should not lose that. And we should make sure every single one of us is aware of it. And I wish that fire can be lit, that we understand that we are responsible. We can't put everything on the government's back, but at the same time, we have to help ourselves. God helps those who help themselves.
It's wonderful to know all of this. What is next for Wild Thyme?
Well, next for Wild Thyme is Michael and I, my husband, we are going to be opening Wild Thyme in San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we are working with a consulting firm right now who are working on our pro forma for the capital investors. And the concept was so well received that this consulting firm are also interested, one of the partners, in investing in opening Wild Thyme in the Bay Area. So we will open probably 4 locations in the Bay Area. And I'm really excited about it.
That sounds fantastic. The Hunza food going around the world, and of course you're both entrepreneurs. I can make sense of it now.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's hard work. We will be the first Hunzai food restaurant in all of North America. So I'm really excited about it. And I'm really excited to carry this message and educate people about it and bring that good news and something positive about Pakistan as well.
Okay, so wonderful to know so much about Wild Thyme, and I wish you great luck. And may you take the food around and the culture around with your sensitivities. It's been a pleasure. I would like to know what has it been like for you, not so Pakistani to look at, and then doing a business in this setting and a small business. What is it like?
Well, it's challenging for any small business. I would assume being one and being entrepreneurs. Part of the challenge in the environment today in Pakistan with the cost of everything going up, the economy suffering, is I really think it would be great and helpful for the government and people, the organizations, to help support those small businesses, because it's the small business that employs, creates jobs. It's the small business that keeps the money circulating. And with the way the rupee is struggling as well, that's how you circulate the money. You keep those small businesses going. It is the backbone of every society. And I really hope they have a plan and implement it very soon, because there's so many people suffering and going out of business that have put their life savings and their life work into it. And we need help. We need support. We really do.
Yeah, I'm glad you've highlighted the significance of small businesses and how they can make a big difference, and not just being generating financial prosperity, but safeguarding the culture, creating local employment, using indigenous products. All of that is also small business.
Promoting Pakistan.
Yes.
And not the continental everywhere, but really, there's so much flavor and color and diversity. It's incredible. It's the richness here. I would love to see more of that celebrated.
Wonderful. I'd like to know your experiences with Pakistanis. You've gone around, you've volunteered, you've set up a business, and you get to meet so many. So, what are the spices we carry in our culture that you've liked? And I don't mean the food spices. I mean the spices in our personalities. So, what goods have you seen around when you met people, and what is it that you'd like for us to and for our country to do differently?
Well, when you say our country, I can say our country.
And our includes you.
Thank you.
Just in case it did sound like that. Yes, I know you feel that.
Well, no, I only because I don't want what I say. I always tell people I'm also have Pakistani blood in me.
Yes.
So because they sometimes hear me speak and say, "Who are you? What do you know?" And I feel like I'm just as much part of this fabric. And in 19 years, it's the longest I've lived anywhere in my life, right? It's my home.
Yes.
There are so many positives. I've developed lots of I've lots of brothers from another mother, as you call them, a lot of people that I've adopted as family. Not having, my father's extended families here, but I don't really have any interaction with them. But I have created a family here through my friends and the people I've met. And so there's a lot of love and support and encouragement. There's a lot of skill here. There's a lot of capacity here, but it really also, like the small business, needs opportunity. It needs better systems and better quality. I want Pakistanis to expect and demand better and more and quality, not feel like going into the shop and being treated differently because, they perceive someone as a foreigner walking in instead of their own local, which they should value more. We need to value ourselves as citizens equally as Pakistanis than giving preference and VIP treatment to a visitor. Treat everyone with respect and equality, and even more value your own citizen, I think. until we do that, how are we going to be strong as a country? How are we going to be strong as individuals?
It's very important.
I don't understand
Valuing
that.
your own citizens
Absolutely.
and asking and expecting for better quality. That's the starting point. Wonderful.
Demand it.
I know you're more than that. And I'd like for my people to also have some fun with you while we have you on the show. So this is a quick rapid fire round. And very, very brief answers. If you don't answer in a few seconds, and the
Okay.
question is gone. Okay, let's go, Elizabeth. What is the one thing you would really want to change about yourself?
My being on time.
Your How long does it take to get you ready?
From start to finish, 45 minutes.
We had 25 in the last one. At what age do you want to retire?
I don't know if I ever want to retire.
San Francisco or Hunza?
San Francisco.
A song that is stuck in your mind and keeps coming back over and over.
It changes every day. It's more the voices, I think.
What is it these days?
I don't know. It's more of a jazz. I listen to jazz a lot, so it's more jazz music. And when you come to Wild Thyme, we have jazz playing at the restaurant a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's one movie that you would like for all of us to see?
Oh my gosh, I don't watch a lot of movies. There haven't been a lot of good movies lately. In fact, we've decided that all the movies seem like daytime dramas now. There isn't any good movie I've seen lately.
I hear that from many people. There are not enough good movies. What makes you really angry?
The driving on the road. It's incredible. It's like people are not conscious when they're driving, and the expression, it's like your father's road or Baap ka sarak, you know?
Would you like to say that once again? That sounded
Baap
very
ka
good. Who's your inspiration?
There are a few. Currently, my husband inspires me a lot. He's a big supporter, and I think we make a really good team. So he kind of keeps me on my feet. Yeah.
Beautiful. If you have a billboard which millions would see, what are you going to put up there?
I guess it would be the quote I told you about, which is anonymous. There's no one who's claimed it, is about how we are responsible for our decisions, is basically what it says, and we have a level of control of our destiny. And of traveler, there is no path, you make the path as you travel it. And that we keep on, we keep our focus on that and do everything we can to absorb what's around us on that path.
Yeah, that's on the billboard, and that's your life
Come
as well.
to Wild Thyme.
That's your life as well.
Yes.
And we all will come to Wild
Yes.
Thyme. You've done a phenomenal job. It's amazing the sensitivity that you carry, the respect for culture, the advocacy for diversity, and not just stopping at that, putting out your message, turning it into an enterprise, and then taking it to places.
Inshallah.
So happy you joined us, Elizabeth.
you.
Thanks a
Thank you
lot.
so much.
And we're all coming there. Don't worry. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you.